actually let the drums go way past specification, well out over 300 thousandths. And this allowed larger rocks to get in between the friction and drum and score the friction to a point where it was literally unusable, and actually on the anchor end was chunking the material out.
And again, if there's any oil soaking from any lubricants at all inside the wheel, the lining must be replaced.
That is absolutely correct. Oil degrades the friction, and you cannot have oil or grease in the system at any time.
Now this next picture is one that we see quite often too, and it speaks to a different portion of the suspension system or the retention system of holding all the parts inside the wheel ends. So tell us a little bit about this one, because it has three interesting characteristics. It has a groove on one side, it has a high edge on the other side, and it has a sunken middle. What do you think caused this one, Rick?
Well, this is a combination of problems. Actually, the lip on the inboard side of the shoe comes from a problem that we see all too often in the industry, and that is a bent spider. And the usual giveaway of that is to have the top shoe outside of the drum. That's why you have the wear groove on the left side of the shoe as shown. On the right side, you'll see a slight dish on that, and the edges are somewhat rounded. Part of that is because the shoe itself, once again, exhibited the same shoe table flex that we talked about before. We have a web going down through the center of the shoe, so as you apply the brake, the ends of the shoe table flex and the wear shows up in the center.
That's very good. You know, it also shows you that brake spiders have a tendency. Now, the brake spider is what holds all the components in place, right?
That's correct.
And those pins that are in there need to be removed and replaced every time you do a brake service job.
Replacing anchor pins and replacing S-cam bushings and anchor pin bushings are critical.
And what happens if you can't get them out? What's the common way of removing those?
You know, it's I always love to talk to the techs in the field about, well, what do you know, and the answer is we never force it, we get a bigger hammer. And after we go to beating on it for a while and it doesn't come out, what do?
We beat on it a little harder and we heat it up.
Oh, you mean you heat and beat on it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll talk a little more about bent spiders as we go along, Tom, but this is the net result of a bent spider, where you have the top shoe out and the bottom shoe in.
Usually when you have a ridge of lining like this, which all the lining is supposed to be inside the drum, it's a pure dead giveaway that the spider has some bend in it.
That is correct.
Just remember that. Now this